G'day, I'm Nick, a provisional psychologist from Melbourne. In 2025, I'll be running 8 half marathons across the 8 Australian states and territories within 8 months, all to spark conversations about men's mental health. I find that often the biggest challenge we can face is ourselves, the negative thoughts that stick and the emotions that rush in uninvited. We all have our own reasons and different ways of coping, but no two stories are exactly alike. For some of us, it can be easy to share that story and to share our struggles, but for others it can be rather difficult to find that voice. As a result, we turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms to silence that voice. And that's why I want to do this, to encourage open conversations and to inspire men to share their own stories and their struggles. Because while not all of our stories are the same, we all shouldn't be alone. Running has been a huge game changer for my mental health. I started doing it as a teenager as a way of dealing with a lot of negative self-talk, and I felt that there were a lot of emotions I was experiencing that I simply wasn't choosing to feel. It's interesting because back then I thought that mental health only existed up here and we only experienced it in our brains, but over time I realised that we actually experience it across the entire body. And that's a beautiful thing about running and why I fell in love with it as a teenager. I found that it wasn't just a good way to reflect on and process all of the thoughts and feelings that I was experiencing, but also a great way to stay in tune with my body and to maintain awareness of what was going on with me physically. So like everybody, I have gone through many rough patches throughout the years, and recently there were a few changes in my personal life where I hit a really huge low. It's interesting because people tend to describe me as quite positive and relaxed, but during this time I felt like what I was experiencing on the inside didn't really correspond with how I was presenting myself to the people around me. It was also during this time where I felt that running didn't give me that mental health benefit anymore, and I lost motivation to do it. I'm fortunate enough to have people in my life who support me and with whom I can share my story and my struggles. Recently, I've been able to bring running back into my life, and it's been quite beneficial for my mental health again. I'm aware that there are men who may not be fortunate enough to have that support network, or they might find it difficult to find that voice and share their story. And that's why I want to do this, hopefully to inspire men to share their story and to do it by engaging in an activity that's been so beneficial for my mental health. Through this mission, I'll be raising funds for Movember, which is an organisation that works tirelessly to improve men's health, in particular men's mental health and suicide prevention. I really love the work that Movember does. I find that they recognise the diversity in experiences. Whilst we all experience mental health difficulties, all of our stories are different and they work really well in amplifying these voices. So with these half marathons, I'll be starting in March in Western Australia, and then I'll be working my way around the states and territories. The last half marathon will happen in November in time for Movember, and that will take place here in Melbourne, Victoria. Alongside these half marathons, I'll also be sharing the incredible work that's been happening in Australia to improve men's mental health. Each run will also have its theme, where I'll be sharing my own story and my experiences, and hopefully that will encourage men to open up and share their stories too. So I'm really looking forward to taking on this project this year. It's a really meaningful part of my life, and to so many other people. I really do encourage you to follow along on the journey and to consider donating. All of the information will be linked in with this video. And yeah,
I'm really looking forward to all of it, and hopefully we can work together to boost conversations about men's mental health.